Welcome back.
I'm Caleb,
I'm Sabrina.
and this is the unoriginal podcast.
Nice.
Okay, what are we talking about today?
Today we're discussing, are people good? So a little bit human nature
Mm,
from inspired by a course, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we had this little section in uni where we were
Yeah.
going into political theory, and then I guess predating political theory was like the fundamental human nature type discussions, which is what politics is about, right? So,
Mm,
but this is not a political
no.
episode, just generally are people good or bad?
This
Like,
topic has been on our list for a while, and this was the initial format we were gonna follow.
yeah,
So it's probably gonna be a little bit different to what we've done before.
yep, it's very research theory based. So we did our homework before
We're
this
adding
whole
our opinions.
yeah. It's interesting because I think like behavior, like human behavior, no, yeah, behavior in general, it's like a very, I think probably the most complex thing to study, right?
Mm.
Because it's like even the person doing the behavior doesn't fully understand their behavior. So how can we fully learn behavior? But people way smarter than us have had theories, and we're gonna discuss those and add what we think about those. So, do you wanna start?
Sure. Um, I think we should start off by saying that I think quite obviously this is not a binary concept of
Mm.
good or bad because moral character is shaped by circumstances, choices, and upbringing, right?
Is that your
But
theory?
no, this is what I think everyone says the second you ask them any question. They're like, it's
It
not black
depends.
or white, it's gray. Yeah, so that's let's get the obvious out the way. But
Okay.
now I think we should take sides and then start discussing. So
Take sides. I don't want to take a
you
side,
don't have to
but
take a side, but start somewhere.
okay. I'll start. I don't. Okay.
Start with the answer. Are people good or bad? Are people good?
Naturally, no.
Mm.
I don't think naturally people are good. I feel like we'll get into this. I don't think people are naturally good. What about you?
What do you think? I think.
So you think they're good? Like,
See, I was a little bit confused by this question, but if you're asking me point blank, I think I actually say no. But I think that because people do good things, it makes them good. So in that sense,
but why
yes,
do you think people do good things?
we'll get into it. So naturally, I think people are inherently selfish. I think they're born
Oh,
to be selfish.
you know who said that?
Who?
Thomas Hobbes.
Okay, yeah, that's on
Thomas
my list
Hobbes,
too.
a philosopher,
Yeah. And I think
was
that's right, based on like survival
people
instinct.
are inherently selfish.
But
Yeah,
like babies are selfish. That's where I started with my mind.
babies are
Like when
selfish.
they're when
Elaborate.
they're when a child is born
Uh-huh.
and they have no concept of anything yet,
Mm-hmm.
they're pretty selfish. Because I don't know, selfish is pretty much defined as if you're putting yourself above someone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So being selfless is just doing things for other people, and babies have no concept of that. If they're hungry now and they want food now. They don't
How
have
does
the
that make them
concept.
selfish? If they don't have a notion of selfishness or selflessness, isn't that
Yeah,
just survival?
yeah, but by definition, what they're doing
Survival
is
is
acting selfish. So that's
selfishness.
why I think humans are inherently
Oh,
selfish, following Hobbes's theory.
okay, that's interesting.
Hmm.
So Hobbes in general, yeah, he says people are inherently selfish, and the reason for government and societies is to kind of control the selfishness, like control this innate human sense of doing things for themselves and only themselves, not seeing the bigger picture. I think there are examples of that in everyday, like for example, when it's Black Friday, there's normally like a big chaos and violence because everyone just wants to get what they want at the lowest price possible. So then people start fighting over products and stuff like that. And that's when, that's even with the government societies, when there's a crisis or a hurricane or like when, okay, for example, if there's a civil movement, like in 2020, when the whole BLM protests were going on, then the looting started happening because there was like people like saw the weakness in the like political governmental structure and then exploited that to like steal from stores and get stuff for free on their own. I feel like glimpses of that happening throughout the past decade and for a very long time that makes you like really see like yeah, if given the chance, I feel like people would do exactly what they want from themselves. And we saw that happen. Did you remember Leave the World Behind? Yeah,
Yeah.
when there was no government, there was nothing there. It was just like, okay, I gotta fend for me and my own, and I don't care whatever happens. Like, remember that guy on the porch,
Yeah,
and he
the
was
one who
like,
had
yeah,
all the supplies.
exactly.
But that's the other thing. I think on a more basic level, someone isn't going to sacrifice their own life for someone else unless you're. I think the only case I can think of is like a mother who is just deeply
Mm,
devoted to their children. I think
okay.
dads are less likely to do this just based on papers I've read, and just generally, if it's like, would you die or would you rather this other person die? And it was just the scenario, you would likely want the other person to
Mm,
take the fall.
okay. So you think people are bad? They're inherently selfish.
Mhm.
But what about ultras? What about people that give out of the goodness of their hearts?
That's the thing. That's why I think people are good because they're always doing what they think is the right or the good thing. Like in the case of the looting, people were looting because they thought that what they were fighting for was good. In the case of, this is always an extreme example, but like World War II, Hitler was, you know, doing all the things he was doing because
Mm.
he had this vision of what was right and what was wrong, what was good and what was bad. And because people are always constantly pursuing what they think is good, that's why I think
Okay, but now we're going
they're
into
good.
like definition of what is good and what is bad, ethics and morals. I feel like we were like steering a little bit. We were saying like,
Hmm.
okay, from your understanding of what is good and what is bad, do you think
Right.
people are good? Because you can't say you agree with
So I
Hitler.
think people are good. I can't say I agree with it. I don't agree with it. Yes, I think people are good
Why?
because they have a conscience.
Mm-hmm. But in their conscience, they do bad things.
Yeah, but I think humans are capable of a lot of damage and destruction and
Mm-hmm.
darkness in that sense.
And they've done that.
And they have done that
Mm-hmm.
to quite bad extremes, but not everyone has done that. And the world we live in today isn't the worst possible thing it could be. So that's the first thing that leads me to think that people are good.
So you think people are good because this is not like there could be worse is
Yeah,
essentially
because everyone has darkness, but they're not acting upon it because of what I'm assuming is their
because of
conscience.
society.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is
So then if we
society.
take away society, then it all
It
goes
would
to
be a
shit.
different question. Yeah, I think
Mm.
humanity would maybe rate it on itself. But that's the thing. We can't take away society. Because asking are
Why
people
not?
good, it's in the context of like all of humans, right? Humanity.
Mm.
It's not individual. Because if you ask me if an individual person was good, I'll admit
Yeah, I'm
it.
not saying it, but I'm saying so people and you think people are good because society makes being good like a desirable thing. Like people who are good are praised or like hu- are seen as heroes and stuff like that. So people want to be good because of the societal.
Precious.
Mm,
That alongside with just how we were brought up. Because all parents teach their children to do right things, to grow up to be a good human on this planet, and it comes from a place of love and kind of instinct, right? So that instinct leads me to think that yeah, people are good because this is just repeating itself in everywhere across the world. You're making a face. What's the
no,
face?
I'm not making a face. Keep going.
That's that. No, that's my point. But I want to hear you now.
Because I would say that people. I don't think people are good because of society. I think society corrupts people
Mhm.
into being bad. I have two examples, but first I want to introduce the theory.
Oh,
This guy named Rosseo, and he
okay.
says people are good but corrupted by society.
Hmm.
In a state of nature, people are pure and act out of compassion.
Hmm.
And I think good examples of these are when you watch documentaries or see articles or videos about like remote tribes in the Amazon or even in South Africa that don't have access to Western society or society in general. They're more community based. They're more like they live more noble, humble lives of like doing everything for the community. They're very selfless.
Yeah.
But then you come to Western society and everybody's like for themselves. We live in this capitalistic society where like it's a it's not a win-win game. If it's a win-lose or zero-sum game where you getting rich means it's at the cost of somebody else. People are more individualistic. They're less
Yeah.
caring about like the societal community aspect. So then in that way, society has corrupted the fundamental pre-societal conditions of human life, where you see in stories about these tribes where they're all helping each other. I don't think that happens in into like if you might be able to go to your neighbor and ask for salt or whatever, but that's like very minuscule compared to how these people like collectively build community, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see like when the societal structures are weak, the bad nature of humans are more visible. In the sense that the society corrupts the human beings, but then the laws are in place to like keep that corruption at bay. When that structure starts to fail, that's when people go bad. If you
Mm-hmm.
look at third world countries, the crime rates are higher.
Mm-hmm.
More people are like doing bad things in general than in the first world society where okay, yeah, they are corrupted, they're less selfless, but they're being kept in check by the rigor of the enforcement
Mm-hmm.
of the law.
Okay, I'm gonna challenge you with Kant.
Okay.
So I'm sure you've heard about this, but he has this thing called the pure practical reason,
Mm-hmm.
basically saying that the world hasn't gone to absolute hell because everyone is acting in a way for the world that they want to live in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a question about what the world actually is, but it's more of a question of, do I want to live in this world where people behave this way?
Mm-hmm. Do you think so? He says people act with reason, right? Like
Yeah,
they're thinking like, okay, like do unto others what you want others to do unto you, type of thing.
essentially, yeah. But
Mm,
it's not just that, it's the bigger picture of this world that I'm living in. Do I want people to to do that for each other? Or do I not want people to do that for each other? So what if that's what everyone is doing?
being
They're acting good just because, smaller picture, they don't necessarily want to be in a world where, I mean to you and therefore it means that other people mean to each other.
But where is this limit of goodness? Because I feel like, yeah, you could ask your neighbor for salt, but if you were like, if you ask for your neighbor for salt for a month, they would probably start complaining and be like, "What the fuck is wrong? What is wrong with you?" You know, or like they start like getting irritated. And I feel like something that small shouldn't get you like a little bit angry, but it does because we're fundamentally not good, like not good. Like you said about the survival.
Mm-hmm. You bring up the tribes thing, and it's interesting because what I saw was that historically, tribes have been very violent to each other because they were protecting their own as well. And that's another side of it.
Yes.
And this whole idea that's been built to us through society, this is separate now. This whole idea that's been built to us about being selfish is to do things for other people. So what if it's not a question of, hey, I'm coming to you for salt every single time because that requires you to give me something, but it's about just inherent goodness, right? And not attributing something to that.
So just generally, what giving salt without having to, well, getting salt without having to ask for it.
Yeah, something along those lines. Like the example I saw with this con thing was, imagine you're selling a car
Mm-hmm.
and it's got worn brakes. Do you or do you not tell the potential buyer about its worn brakes? Because that's an act of goodness that is
Yeah,
not that's demanding from someone else, right? It's just you acting on it.
yeah. You should tell them, but I mean, there are countless
Mm-hmm.
examples of when people would rather not and to like either just get rid of the car or to not have to spend money on repairs and stuff like that. So then I don't think it's a thing of doing unto because I feel you wouldn't want someone else to do that to you, but you would still do it. So I think that idea of reason and autonomy, or reason from Immanuel Kant, doesn't really make sense. I feel like what it lacks is like the emotional aspect of it, of like I feel like if you like somebody, you're more likely to be good to them than not. All right,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like maybe that's what's missing in this ideology of people living for the world that they want to exist. If you're friends with your neighbor, or you're close with your neighbor, then you would be like, okay, you could just go take salt without asking, right? But if you're like strangers, which a lot of people are in this world, it's way hard. I feel like the barrier to being good to somebody just out of the kindness of the heart is way higher than if you know them.
So you fully think people are not good?
I mean, yeah, there's still like so here's the thing. I think they are not good, but obviously there's still like situations where they're good. I feel like that's why the whole lost and found system works, right? You see something that's on the floor that doesn't belong to you, out of the kindness of your heart. Like, you could just walk by and out of the kindness of your heart, you deposit in the lost and found, and then someone who lost it would come check and find it. Or if you see a wallet in the ground and you see the name, you would search it up on Instagram and then find the person and let them know, hey, you dropped your wallet out here, and then like this is an example from like literally this weekend. A friend lost his MacBook. Let me tell the story. So he goes to this restaurant, um, and has like nice food, good dinner. He goes outside. He's with his bag, right? Because he's from work. He's with his bag. His MacBook is in his bag, and he goes to get his bike, right? Because he's going back home from the restaurant. He puts his bag down, takes out his bike keys and whatever, unlocks the bike, and he's having a smoke, right? So he's just chilling, chilling, chilling. The bag is down. He gets on his bike after the smoke and bikes away, forgetting that his bag is there. So when he was there was this homeless man that was there, but he didn't pay much mind to it. He realizes that his bag is not with him because his phone sends a notification that, hey, your MacBook is no longer with you. And then he's like, oh shit, my bag. He goes back, it's not there. The homeless man is nowhere to be seen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now he's panicking. His laptop is gone, his bag is gone. It's a really nice bag, an expensive bag. And he's panicking, he's going around. Then he goes to this park where a lot of the homeless people hang out. And he's like biking around trying to find anybody that might look like that one person. Doesn't find him, and then these people stop him and like, what are you looking for? Then he gives a description. He tells them what happens. Like, okay, you need to go to that corner because that's where they hang out. He goes there, and this one guy, like the group leader, comes up to him. And it's like, yeah, what do you want? And he's like, yeah, I'm just looking for my bag. I lost my bag. Blah 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 blah. And then they have this long discussion, long conversation. He's like, yeah, I've never met this guy before, but apparently that guy, the group leader, knows everybody that hangs out there. So this homeless guy was not really in that circle.
Mm-hmm.
Then he thinks, okay, well, my laptop is gone, everything is gone. Like, I'm gonna need to find a new laptop. And MacBooks are expensive, right? So, fast forward a couple of days, he gets a call from the restaurant that he was at that somebody came and gave them his MacBook
Mm-hmm.
for 20 euros. So, what had happened was, I guess, either out of the kindness of this man's heart or the fact that he didn't know what to do with it, realized that it's probably better to just give it back for a little bit of money and then hopefully for some good karma later. And we can get into this idea of like the greater good or whatever. But the person gives back the MacBook to the restaurant for a measly fee of 20 euros, and then the people at the store then open it up, they see the name, they google the name, they find the Instagram, they call them like, hey, we have your MacBook, you can come for it whenever. And then he goes and he gets his MacBook back. I think in that sense that like demonstrates maybe people are not like 100% good, because he still stole the bag. He didn't have to do that. He could have like, hey man, you left your bag, but he still stole the bag, but then ended up, I guess, feeling bad or whatever to return. I feel like people have this,
Conscience.
there you go. They have this conscience that, I mean, some people have it louder than others, but there is a little bit of goodness, if you can call it that, to like, yeah, do this or do that.
Okay, so first of all, the story does not sound real.
No, I swear to I swear to
I
God
know
this
that
happened.
that's crazy.
I
Like he
swear to
went.
God this happened.
I mean, this was in the evening, and he went on this hunt with a bunch of
Yeah,
homeless people.
yeah.
That is crazy.
They told me the story on Monday, and then everything happened in like the following days. And then yesterday in the evening, he told me that yeah, the restaurant had called and it was like a miracle and everything. He was literally about to buy a new one,
But
but
but do you know who I think acted in a good way in the story? And it's not the homeless person.
the store,
Yeah,
yeah,
because that's sort of surprising to me. They have absolutely nothing to do with this,
hmm
and they're going out of their way to
yeah, they paid 20
pay. Yeah,
euros
like
for
he
the
paid that
exactly.
20 euros.
I'm saying people, yeah. So there is some good in people,
Yeah,
but I feel like, and I feel like this story also reveals a good dynamic of like people who are living. So remember, you told me about this guy Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
yeah,
I feel like this homeless person was at the very bottom, whereas this restaurant owner, whether or not it's a chain restaurant, is probably like way higher in that hierarchy of needs. I feel like before, until a certain level, until you reach a certain threshold, like being good to somebody or like being good in general is not gonna be a priority. You're focused on survival. Your main goal is to survive, and that's where the homeless person is at. So if that means to steal a bag, if that means to exchange the MacBook from the bag for 20 euros to survive for the week or whatever, he's going to have to do that.
mm-hmm.
Whereas these people that own the restaurant, they're past that level. So now they can focus their priority on other things in society, like being a good person or being a
Yeah.
kind neighbor, being the good Samaritan, you know. I feel like maybe that's what explains this. People aren't good, but they can learn to be good. I feel like that's what makes
Confucius.
that's what makes people that's what makes humans unique. I feel like because no other species has
Yeah.
this ability to like want to be better than they are. But people after a certain level, yeah, you do want to be a better person. You do want to do this, that, and the third. But naturally, fundamentally, we are not good people. What did Confucius say?
That exactly, that people are not born good, but they become good because they have benevolent urges that turns into benevolence.
Mm.
And because, you know, they have compassion. Um yeah, wow.
What
Full
a story,
circle.
yeah. Okay. Do you want to do scenarios? Or
No,
do you
wait,
have
wait, wait. Would you still say that uh acting good with expectation of return and acting good for the sake of acting good is the same thing?
no, I think doing a good thing
Mm-hmm.
with an expectation is still being selfish. It's
Right.
still a trade. It's still a transaction.
But to both of these, if I so if I asked you, was the homeless person, was what he did good?
He did a lot of things. I don't think any of them were good
But he gave the laptop back
for money.
for 20 euros.
Exactly. He
For
expected
only
something
20
back.
euros.
Yeah, but he knows that bro, they're not probably gonna give him like 1,200. He probably could. The thing is, that was the maximum or minimum amount he was able to assign value to this computer because he probably doesn't have a phone. He can't sell it online. First of all, it's a MacBook, so it's gonna be logged immediately. He probably doesn't have the resources to break it up and sell the parts. So then for him, this was the best option and he took it. So that's not him being generous enough to just give it back for only 20 euros. He had to give it back for 20 euros because for him, that's a bargain.
See, in my mind, he could have asked for more.
I honestly don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. I think that's literally in his head at least. That was the maximum that, or like that's a good deal for him. Maybe it wasn't even to sustain himself for a week. Maybe it was to buy drugs and forget his worries for the night. You know, because it's a trend here where people will sell you stolen stuff for 20 euros. I think like some drug out here is probably 20 euros for a gram or a kilo or whatever, and that's what they're all focused on. I mean, that's a sad thing to to visualize or to think about, but I feel like that's the reality of the situation. He just wanted that 20 euros in order to get his fix.
I feel like it's so harsh to just discredit everything he did as not being good.
He stole a bag.
You don't know that.
He did.
You don't know that. Maybe he took it and started walking around to look for the person.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe he couldn't have called out the person who just biked away immediately because he didn't notice immediately or something like that. That's where my brain
You're
goes.
very, very naive. I feel like people.
I lost my phone in Bundle Park, and I immediately thought someone took it.
Hmm.
And like within seconds, I realized it was gone, and I walked back to it, and it was just gone.
Mm,
And I was like, it has to have been stolen.
mm,
The next day, um, I call my phone just as a final shot because I've been calling it the day before.
mm,
And the lady picks up,
mm,
and when I meet her, she's with her dog. And at that exact moment, I realized when I dropped it, it was because I had jumped at the spot, and right next to me was this lady with a dog,
mm,
and it was the same person, obviously.
mm,
But in that moment, she didn't turn. If she just turned around and said, "Hey, did someone drop a phone?"
mm,
or "Hey, whose is this?" because she picked it up at that moment,
mm,
I would have just been right there and be like, "Hey, it's mine."
mm,
But no, that didn't happen. And for
mm.
some reason, she thought the right thing to do was just to pick it up and leave immediately.
Okay.
So I thought that it was sold in that moment. That's why I'm trying to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. The host.
I feel like it's exactly that phrase, benefit of the doubt. I feel people are sometimes a little bit too optimistic
Maybe
in
that's what the
situations.
goodness is that we do give the benefit of the doubt.
I
We're
don't think
trained to
so.
give the benefit of the doubt.
I feel like it's just a societal facade. It's all smoke and mirrors
I think
to not descend into chaos.
I think we've learned enough times that cooperation is what keeps the species alive, right?
Oh yeah.
And I think that's why people are good because in cooperating, it's good. Whether no matter if it's with the expectation of return or not.
I don't think it's good unless there is no expectation of return. Like I feel like the only time that the world really cooperates is during crises, like during the pandemic when everyone was like, okay, let's get our heads together, let's put aside our geopolitical differences and like work on a cure for this thing that is gonna take out our entire race.
But
And that was like at literally the most edge of the edge cases of like we're going to die extinction event for us to like cooperate. And it happens like time and time again. World War II. This, that, and the third. Like when there's time in crisis, when there's a crisis happening, is when we really cooperate. Other than that, it's just we don't like each other because we don't like each other.
I think the question of whether it's with expectation of return or not is such a small part compared to the bigger question, which I think is more important of um, are we going to or are we capable of cooperating instead of being selfish? And that's where the argument
But
is
with
at.
the expectation of return, it's still being selfish.
Not if you're cooperating still.
If you're
Because if it's
cooperating,
shouldn't that be the main question?
but if you're
Whether it's
cooperating,
cooperating or just selfishness.
if you're cooperating with an expectation, you're being selfish. You it's benefiting you. Like being good is doing something without like expecting something back, because you're literally doing this out of the kindness of your heart.
Have you watched Friends?
No.
No? Oh my god. They did this one episode where they realized that you can almost do nothing in this world that's completely selfless. Almost nothing.
Explain.
Give me a scenario.
I don't
You just
know.
can't. There's just nothing you can do that's practically being selfless. It's like you watch The Good Place, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
they attribute points to everything, and
Mm-hmm.
essentially they've deemed that for the longest time everything we're doing is wrong. And I think that's true. If I buy a tomato from a farmer and I eat it, good for me for supporting a local business. But say the money I spent was from my parents and I should have bought something cheaper because it was selfish of me to buy something good. Say this tomato was grown in the hands of this farmer who supports pesticides and whatnot, and
Okay, but that's just
that's
taking
fine.
things a little too literal, and then it just defeats the point of the
Yeah, but
argument,
that's
though.
what I'm trying to build this analogy of that I don't think necessarily anything is selfless. Any gift giving doesn't even seem selfish. If it was argued in Friends that if you feel good after you've given a gift,
Mm-hmm.
then that was selfish because you've
Why?
almost expected
You
you because you anticipated a good reaction from the other person. And because of that, you knew that you were gonna feel better. And because you felt better, then you got something out of it. Because they're saying that essentially being selfless is that you get nothing out of it,
No, but
not
you
even
can
a
feel
positive.
good through a lot of different ways. I feel like we're just taking a very literal understanding of the word, and that's like
Yeah.
undermining the whole argument.
Okay, present your scenarios. What?
Um. Okay. This the first one is gonna be very harsh, but it's 1940, 1939, 1940. You're in the heart of
Cool.
the Nazi regime. You're a German citizen,
Mm-hmm.
and um you find out that a Jewish person is hiding in your basement. And then immediately as you find out, the Gestapo come knocking on your door. Are there any Jewish people hiding in your place?
Mm-hmm.
Do you say yes or do you say no?
I say no
Why?
because it's a human life and I likely know the fate of the human. Should I say the other answer? Should I say yes?
Huh?
Because I know what's gonna happen to the person. They're gonna
Yeah.
die, and
Okay, no, you know that now, but assuming in Nazi Germany
you didn't know that. I'm
okay,
pretty
okay,
sure they knew
okay,
that in that.
even if you knew
Right,
the right thing,
would be to tell the truth.
the good thing
That
would be to tell the
no,
truth.
the good thing would be to save a person's life.
You're the one who brought up Immanuel Kant,
Mm-hmm.
and with reason,
Mm-hmm.
you should tell the truth and
With
say,
reason, I should do what I think is right.
and the right thing is telling the truth.
No, the right thing is saving someone's life.
The right thing is telling.
Telling the truth is not more important than saving someone's life.
But you
Someone's
don't know that.
life.
Okay, let's go in a different. Let's rephrase it.
Okay,
I'm trying to make a point. Say
you'll have to find something less dire than
no,
this.
yeah, no. So an ex murderer is on the run. Mm-hmm.
On the run.
Yeah,
Okay,
he jumps into your backyard,
right.
and the police are like, "Where's this guy?"
Yeah,
Do you tell them where he is?
yeah, because he's on the run and he wouldn't be on the run if
Now,
it was right. Uh-huh.
mhm, he's on the death sentence, by the way.
What?
He's on the death sentence. So now they
Okay.
catch him there, he's gonna by electrocution, by pill, whatever. Now, this person is your childhood best friend.
Uh-huh.
Does that cause a little bit of hesitation, or do you then lie to the police or not?
What do you mean ex-murderer? Isn't it
No,
once
ex-con. He's an ex-con, but he's
ex-con?
like,
Okay,
yeah,
he's a
he
murderer.
went, yeah.
You know, for the longest time I believed in a life for a life.
Okay.
So following that, I would still be like,
You would say,
this playing God thing really is.
no, it's not about playing God. It's just like, this is your childhood from like,
What
I'm
would you
talking
say?
childhood. No, no, do you answer? Have you answered?
I think if they did right, they wouldn't be on the run.
So, but even that hesitation alone signals how much emotion plays into this idea of being good or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because when it was a random person, you're like, he's back there, he's in the backyard, go get him, go get him. Yeah.
No, but it
But
was the
now when
same
it was your
hesitation.
friend,
No, it was the same thing when you told me the person was on the run before when it wasn't my childhood best friend.
yeah,
I
but
said that
no,
they
but
wouldn't be on a run.
no, if you listen to it back, you were a little bit, you were
No.
like, oh,
You
you
could
could,
just suddenly just added the death
you
sentence.
asked more questions about the situation. That situation, you're very sure.
I stand that I was the same. What would you
It was
say?
not the same.
What would you
I
say?
think, I mean, I would like to think that I would tell the truth in both situations, but I feel like being put in the scenario in real life, I would probably even. But the thing is, if it's with even if I hesitate, they already know that he's there. So like, I'd have to be like stone cold and just say like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. So I feel like it's the same concept of like, see no evil, do no evil, hear no evil. Like, as in like, this whole idea, like this whole culture of being selfish to the point where you see something happening, like look the other way. Because if you involve yourself, like try to help somebody or try to call the police, you might be put in like, you might put yourself in a dangerous situation as well, right? Like if you saw a robbery happening, would you go and like try and fend off the robber? No, you're concerned for your own life, so you leave like this person on. Even if like the two of you saw like okay, two versus one is probably like mathematically more in your favor. You would still go your own way because you don't want to risk like dying, right? You don't want to risk your life for somebody else, even if it's a grocery store owner that you don't know. But then if it's your daughter, if it's your friend, if it's your brother, you're less likely to run away and try to help them. I feel like there's an emotional aspect to being good or not, and maybe that's in the nature.
And I think that regardless of what it is, as long as it's good, then it still counts as being good. Even if it means that it differs per situation because of my emotional attachment.
Say that again.
I would still argue that even though I only act when it's someone I know or someone that matters to me, and I wouldn't necessarily act, okay, not necessarily, I wouldn't act if it wasn't someone that was close to me, if it was a stranger. I would argue that because I would still do the right thing in some circumstance, that it's still good, even though I'm selective and I'm
Yeah, so
selfish.
you're being selective. That's like that's not.
Would you rule it out as me being good?
No, you're being good, but to the people that are good to you.
That's why I think you can be good and selfish. That's why you're inherently selfish, but you learn to be good.
Yeah, exactly. So people, the answer to the question, are people good naturally, inherently?
That's not the question. The question is,
Are
are
people
people
good?
good?
Anyways, are people good? When we strip it down to the bare bones,
Yeah.
the answer is and will always be no.
I. That is what I said at the beginning, though.
You said yes. I said no.
You need to
And
play
I
this
just
back
I
and listen
converted
to it.
you.
No, my
I
whole point was
it's
that people
documented
are
here.
born.
I converted you
Yes,
into
listen.
my belief
Literally,
system.
the first thing I said was that people are born selfish, but they learn to be good. And because of that, they are good.
So they're good. But I'm saying no, they're
Okay.
not. And
Do you also know why I think people are good?
or
What makes them good? I think because of two things. One is their conscience, and two is their capacity to love. And also, like, I read about like things about the human brain and whatnot, just out of curiosity. But I think that's what keeps our world together. That's why I think we're not in the purge.
but if it happened, like no, if there was an opportunity, it would happen almost immediately.
If they
Maybe you wouldn't start it, but it would definitely start. If there was no policing, if there was no law enforcement, there was nothing. Literally, we would descend into chaos. Cause like, what's stopping you from like taking what you want?
do you know how there's this basic survival instinct of wanting your species to continue, and basically everything we're doing is towards that. Like people are trying to find the cure of cancer because of that, because they want to save people from not dying, and that will advance our species. It's just inherent in every single thing that's alive
Because they
on this
want the
planet.
prestige and the immortality of being that person that fucking solved cancer.
Because they want on the baseline, they want to ensure our
A
species
lot of
is alive.
scientific scientists have like a big ego. That's a thing in the academia.
Yeah, but it's like what they're
You have to be a
doing,
little bit of a sociopath
but what they're
to be
doing
like
is still
a
good.
good
What
scientist
their work is contributing is still good.
because they want to be
What their
immortalized. They
motives
want to
are.
be and they want to be cited like a million
And
times
that's
for
why I
years to
think you can
come.
still be good no matter your motives. Even if it's with this expectation that you'll get something else or
Okay. I
something.
hate to bring this up again,
Do it. What?
but you can use that argument for Hitler for the
Yeah!
survival of the Aryan race to exterminate the Jews. Doesn't that sound familiar?
Yeah, but he was so believed in himself that he was doing something good.
See?
And I think that's what's inherent in everyone. I don't know, they just care. They care
But you're
about
saying it
they
doesn't
care about
matter how you
people
do the
who
good. It's
haven't been
just.
born yet,
Mm.
and they care about people who look and behave like them.
But the thing I'm saying is that you're saying that it doesn't matter about how you're good. You're just about the fact that you're
And
good.
that's what makes
We're
people
saying
good.
the how he was good was very wrong. So I'm saying it's
Yeah.
not about that. It's not about the how.
But that's why I think
No, it's exactly
people,
about the how. It's not about being good.
yeah, but that's why I think people are good because they're always doing the thing that they think is good.
That's not what doesn't make sense. Nobody's good. Nobody's okay.
Everyone is good because they're all thinking that they're doing the
People
good thing.
people can be good, but it's not. You can't just say you're good because you think you're doing the good thing. It's more about why. It's about the reason, the motivation for you being good,
I
and
think,
how it's about the
unless,
means, not the ends.
I think, unless the whole world agrees collectively on a definition of good, then people are good because that's not the case.
It's not about agreeing collectively. Okay, not even that, but like to you,
Hmm.
if you're saying that the means don't matter, it's just about the end product of being good.
Of course, the means matter. The means is
But
what
then
I'm talking about.
But then you can't say that it doesn't matter like why you're doing good things as long as it's good
No, I'm
to
saying
them.
that
Then
as long
it's
as you
good.
think you're doing the good thing.
I don't think that's. I don't think
Do you have more scenarios?
no.
Is this the end of
Yeah,
your fight? Okay.
my fight.
Mm.
It's not a fight. I just think people are not good.
I
I
think
mean,
people are flawed, but
of
they're
course.
and they're making up for their flaws with the conscience
Sure.
and it makes them good.
Okay. So, in conclusion,
People are good.
I disagree.